when your brother might die this Saturday, and you're like, I really trying to believe and love God still, which I do, of course, but I'm just more upset that I'm like, God made my brother handicapped. So my brother was mentally tortured and physically in different homes around here. In Stockton, he was in Turlock, in where else did he live? In Salida. All these handicap homes just abuse these kids and overdrug them. That's all they do. Just overdrug them so they can just stay sleepy or just sit on the couch all day so they're not in the nurse's way. That's all handicapped kids are to people. And then other people outside of that home just don't see them as human beings. Like, even the people I'm surrounded around don't even see him as a human being. I'm like, just because he's special, you could treat him like your guy best friend. He's the same thing. He's a man and he's a human being. He's just special and incapable of things. But it's like, just like your best friend, he's the same. He's a normal man, normal human being. Like, I don't see why people don't see them as human beings. Like, handicap doesn't mean you're not a human being. Just like you drinking alcohol doesn't make you an alcoholic or a drug addict automatically. Well, you know, it doesn't make you a drug addict, but then, you know, both ways, alcohol it'll lead to you need alcohol and then you can't stop, and then drugs usually lead to you can't stop off drugs, etc., etc. It does become an addiction afterwards. But I'm like, so people who are addicted are the ones that are retarded, and these kids are like beautiful and they're just special and wonderful and etc., etc. And I'm like, pisses me off about people that don't see them as human beings, especially having my own brother as handicapped and not capable of talking, not capable of doing he has to wear a diaper, he has to be fed, you know, he needs 24-hour supervision. But yeah, so he might pass away this Saturday. So telling her mom that's just great. It's like, wow, how do you say that? So my brother, your son might pass away. That's gonna be great, man. Like, God help us. And the doctors are like, well, he just might choke to death because he has a tube in his throat to help him breathe for like, he was in a coma for like a week and a half. Then he woke up. Well, his eyes are at least open, but they still have it, but his lungs are full. So apparently the hospital's just giving up too and just gonna kill him. So I guess they just give up on handicapped kids too. They're just like, well, he's just gonna die then. Okay, Stockton, I guess you're not gonna help either. Stockton Hospital, my goodness, like, I don't even know. Lord help me, because I have a son to take care of, and watching my brother possibly die Saturday in 2 days, like, really? Like, God could do a miracle for sure. I really pray so, because he was just going to come home and live with my mom, and I'm going to find her a home. I would honestly live with my mom and my brother. That'd be great. And my son, of course. But, yeah, they're just saying his chances are really low. So, Lord help us. Like, I don't even know, man. What do you do when they're going to say your brother's going to die? I got teary-eyed earlier, and now I'm just, like, more in denial and be like, no, you can make it. I don't know. Love God too, but I'm like, I'm upset. I'm like, God, you made him special. Yeah, at first he's gonna die alone in COVID, but at least this time they're actually gonna let us see him. So that's good news. So, oh, thank the Lord, at least that. Can you imagine? That'd be even more terrible if they just let a handicapped child, human being, die by themselves. Like, number one, they're handicapped. That's like leaving an infant to die by themselves. They don't know, you know, what's going on. So at least we get to be there. So God could do a miracle. 2 days. 2 days God could do a miracle, right? So yes, he can. It's up to God. If God wants to take him home too, he will. And my brother will be in peace in paradise and not handicapped no more. Be able to talk and run and play with Jesus until we see him again. And Lord knows. And it's just like, but it's really hard. It's really hard. I'm like, I just had my infant, my child this year. Now he's an infant. Now I'm like, now my brother might pass away. And I'm like, oh, that's very difficult. Like, my goodness, like, I don't even know. Lord help us. My goodness. I don't even know what to say.